Hi guys, this is Jack with Team Empire, and today we're doing another deck test for set 12. This time we are going over not Sunrise Egg, we're going over Bavsargra. Bavsargra got pretty good support in set 12. It's not the best, and it's not entirely what people wanted, but it certainly was a surprise because we got the first grade 1 overdress unit and the first overdress unit to not be a Virina and to not be part of the Nirvana deck. It is actually Vylord. Looks super cool. He has really powerful effects. He can't be chosen by card effects. He can allows you to arm multiple times while also putting arms into the soul, and he's also a dress booster that gives all of your front row 5k for each arms card your Vanguard's armed with. And that effect can be used multiple times in a turn. So this really helps Bavsargra's ceiling become raised to an even further level. Could have said that a little better, but you know what I mean. On top of that, Bavsargra also got 2 new weapons. We're going to go over those real quick. First one we have is Surya, who has the effect when it's armed, you choose one of your opponent's back row rear guards and retire it, and you choose one of your vanguards and it gets 10k. So the thing about this is that you can actually arm this card multiple times using stuff like your spear and your Vylord, and then being able to retire multiple rear guards in the opponent's back row. Because that's one of the weaknesses of Bavs, is that unless you use her Soul Blast 2, you can't retire anything. And if they don't have a front row anymore, then you're just Soul Blasting 2 for a crit, which isn't always worth it. So you want to be able to pop some of those annoying back row cards like Yuika's and Elvira's for Willista, or maybe like Sacrifices or Awakening Messiah in Messiah, GG's. Well, now no longer Swirler because I saw the ban list, but GG's, Gungrams for Jet just really helps with those type of matchups, and also has a pretty decent second effect where you can put it into the drop to choose a card with right deity arms from a different card name and put it into your hand. So it allows you to recover your spears that might be in drop or your sword, because we don't actually play the any other right deity arms. Now we have the new axe, which is Sealed Blaze Axe Tivashtar. I swear, Bavsargra names are so hard sometimes. Which has the effect to make your Vanguard's attack need 2 or more cards to guard, which honestly, that effect is just kind of alright. Most of the time, it's not really going to matter because Bavsargra is still a 3 attack deck, and only having the guard restrict on one of the attacks is not always the best. But it has a pretty decent second effect to where it basically allows you to go more aggressive while also still allowing you to keep the shield on the Vanguard at the end of the turn, so you can still have that 10k shield. Other auto includes are just obviously the Kong Shadi for being able to search any arms card you want, and also being able to turn your arms cards later in the game into soul and draw, which is really nice. And then Trick Moon's obvious. Now we have the new card, which is probably even better than Vylord, I'd say, or at least on the same level as Vylord. Divishtia, who has the effect when placed on Rigor Circle, you Soul Blast 1 and look at 7 cards on top of your deck, and you choose up to 1 arms card and up to 1 arms card from each of them. Reveal them. Did I say arms twice? I think I did. You choose an arms card and up to 1 dress booster. I apologize. You put up to 1 of the cards into your hand and you discard the remaining cards, which is honestly fine either way, because you see a dress booster like Trick Moon, and you haven't used Bavsargra's first skill yet, you can just send that card to the drop and then immediately arm something, use Bavsargra's effect to call the Trick Moon, or if you already did arm this turn, you can put the arms card into drop and then add the dress booster to your hand, whether that be Trick Moon or Vylord. So technically, with Divishtia, since we play 8 dress boosters and we play 6 weapons, and we'll already take 1 of our weapons out of deck, that makes a total of 13 targets for our deck to hit. So that's honestly pretty good. And also he has a really nice second effect to where he's kind of like a Combine Rusher. He gets 10k power as long as you have 2 or more arms, and he's attacking a grade 3 or greater unit. So he can become really big, especially with a boost from Trick Moon or a boost from Vylord. Now for the last card we're playing in the deck from set 12 is the Jewel Beast. I really like playing these Jewel Beasts, but I think this one is especially good in Bavsargra because Bavsargra can revive grade 1s or lesses. You can actually use this effect like, one copy can effectively become 2, because you can guard with it on the opponent's turn, have it be a 20k shield, and on the next turn, if you like Persona Road or something, you can use Bavsargra's effect to call this card later in the game, and use the effect to return 2 to the right deck to draw a card. So one copy of it can technically be used twice, which is really cool. Then last thing we're going to talk about is trigger lineups. The Dragon Empire OT is obvious because your Vanguard gets an extra crit, and restanding your Vanguard is insane. Heals are obvious. Fronts people were talking about because of Kong Shadi, but since we don't play Samadhi in this list, I'd say draws are probably still better, just to be able to draw into some of your extra pieces like Persona Rides, your Devastia, your Vylord, some of your weapons or Trick Moons more importantly. And then 8 crit I think is pretty obvious, just because you want to be able to, since you're not a multi-attacking deck, you want these big numbers to have more pressure in the form of crits. So that's it for the deck list. Let's go into an actual game and test Bavsargra out. Sorry if my voice is a little raspy. It's just yeah, it might be a problem later on in the recording, but I apologize for that. Alright, we have our first opponent here. We're going to, I'm gonna say heads. Alright, we're going first. That's great. Bavsargra does like to go first since all of its skills, or majority of its skills, do activate. I think the only one that doesn't is like Devistia's power increase. Drew into a Vylord and a Trick Moon, which is pretty nice, and a weapon. I think we drew into the, yeah, it's a right deity arms. Not exactly the one you want, but I think we're still going to keep it, and we're going to keep the PG. Now that's the one we want. Okay. Alright, we're facing the mirror match. A lot of mirror matches going on. You two mate. Alright. Stand and draw. We're going to discard the Trick Moon for cost. Ride. Skill of Namor card to Soul Blast to grab ourselves the shield. And pass turn. Bavsargra immediately thinning a card out of the deck is great. One of the best aspects of any ride. Of any deck. Oh, it's gotten Diva, even better. It's a lot of good content. We're gonna no guard that. It's actually kind of good we open with the Vylord then, because that can't get retired. We're gonna draw. Discard the shield to ride the Bavsargra. Use the effect to add the shield back. And we're just going to swing with our Bavsargra for 10. We could have called the Vylord, but I want to be able to actually pressure the opponent. We got the cycle card, which is nice. Looks like we're going to have to use some of those shields. We're going to guard with the Garnet. Fortunately, our hand is just not that great. We're going to have to take this. Fortunately, it is a Vylord. He's going to be able to draw. We're going to say no guard. Our hand is not really built for something like this. Yeah. Fortunately, the rush is really good with Gandiva. We drew into a Kong Shadi, which is not bad. We could actually draw a couple cards here. Going to discard the Spear to ride Bavsargra. Then we're going to arm for CB1. Use the effect to draw a card. Now we can arm an additional card. And we're going to use the effect of Bavsargra to Soul Charge 1, which is a Trick Moon. And then revive a Trick Moon from our drop. Trick Moon's skill, since it was called to the back or center, we countercharge. Then we're going to arm thanks to the Spear's effect. Surya's effect to give our Vanguard plus 10, but that's not really the reason why we did it. The real reason why we did it is so we could actually have 2 arms and drop to use. Now we're going to call Kong Shadi. Use Kongshadi's effect, Counterblast 1, shove this into the soul to draw 1 and pick up +5. Then we're going to overdress to Vylord, use Vylord's effect to Counterblast 1, choose 2 arms cards, and they don't actually need to be different names, which is really cool. We're going to choose both of our spears, arm the spear and put this spear into the soul, the spear's skill to draw, and also we can arm an additional time. Now we can Counterblast 1 to arm the shield. Bavsargra's skill activates. We're going to Soul Blast 2 of our weapons. Our Trick Moon in our weapons. And now she picks up a crit. On top of that, she does pick up an additional 10k from the Spear's effect. Now we're going to enter battle. We're going to swing, use the effect of Vylord to give our front row 10k power. So it's 51-2 crit. And we do have 2 PGs in our hand for the Alpha Car and the Gandiva attack coming up. He's going to PG. Depending on our drive checks, we actually could pass. We're going to draw into the OT, never great. A heal is great though. We will put the power there and we will heal a Vylord to become 5-it. And even though he could have 2 CB for like Gandiva plays, we will still actually swing since he reduces one of the CB costs anyways. So we might as well just push him to semi-high damage. Or at least more damage than 1. Yep. He's going to target our grade 2. He did see the grade 2, so it is retired. It's actually been a while since I faced Gandiva, actually. He's going to bind. Funny thing is, you don't actually need to show your opponent what you're binding with Gandiva. You just bind it. And if they don't look at what you bind, that's their problem. He's going to bind that. Yeah, he's doing standard Gandiva plays. Not much to say here. If you played against Gandiva, you've kind of seen... If you played a lot against Gandiva, I should say, you know what Gandiva is going to do. He's going to move it up. I don't think he used Best Harvest, though. Which for the best, because like Vylord can't be chosen anyways. So he has... Yeah, he's about to have 5 in there. We're gonna take this because we don't want him to be able to heal. We are going to, after he does his top 5 off Alpha Car, off PG anyways. Pretty nice, because if he doesn't see any triggers, we can just guard that with the shield and not have to waste any shield from our hand. We're going to PG, discard, no triggers, perfect, but those are pretty dangerous for next turn. It's going to swing, use the skill, pick up +10, oh wait, and then we're going to -10. We're going to guard. Alright, you want to be able to try and guard like semi-early when you have the chance with Gandiva, because Gandiva's numbers are only going to get bigger. We are going to Persona Ride to draw. And then, fortunately, we don't have a weapon to arm. We're just going to use Bavsargra's effect, Soul Blasting 2, to retire both your front row. She does get a crit. And the thing about Vylord, it's actually really cool, is it doesn't need to be overdressed to have immunity to card effects. He just has it. So we're going to call him. He's going to have the +10 from the spear. We're going to swing. Vylord's going to use his effect. +10 to the front row. So this is 51, 2 crit. Definitely could see that coming. First check, heal trigger. That's amazing. We are going to heal. It doesn't really matter what we heal here. A crit. That's also really good. This is big number 48 coming at you for 2 damage. The best harvest and a front. Kind of good for him that the best harvest does go here, since it's completely worthless right now, since both of our rear guards can't be chosen. But unfortunately, this is the thing about having big shield in our hands. We don't actually have like any plays next turn, because it's just all triggers. He actually revealed top 6 off Gone Diva. That's crazy. But it doesn't matter. He can't do anything, so he's just going to draw and bind 1. He's going to call Brachiosaurus my worst enemy. I don't know if any of y'all know this. There's like a huge joke in the team that Brachiosaurus is my least favorite card, and they'd be right. I actually really don't like Brachiosaurus because like he's so annoying to play against. Because he gets to like pop my board, but also gets like advantage. So I'll guard with it with like everything. So it's plus 16. He did not hit Persona, which is really nice. We're going to guard that for 28. Very annoying that a Brachiosaurus gets called, of all things. We're gonna over to pass this. A crit. Oh my god, double crit. That's crazy. We're gonna guard that for 43. That's the last card I want hitting. We could like guard this, but we don't have. Well, we won't have a PG for. We could use the shield, but like, there's not any good like cards to guard with it. Sorry, I was getting a message. Oh, I'm gonna take it. Oof. I don't think it was worth it. Stand and draw. Okay, kind of was worth it, because now with Conch Shoddy we can actually have some plays. How many crits are gone? Only 3 crits are gone. There's a chance that we could just like high roll and win. Skill, we're gonna Soul Blast 1, discard the draw trigger, search our deck. Ooh. We have access to the sword. It's the only one we can add, but that's fine. But unfortunately, we won't be able to get Bavsargra's. That's the case. We actually can. We actually can. Always remember you have Conch Shoddy. Put this into the soul, draw a card, and then give Conch Shoddy plus 5k. Then we will Soul Blast 1 to arm. Use the effect of Bavsargra. Soul Charge 1, which is a draw. And then we get to call. Debating if we should call the Garnet or call the Trick. Probably just Trick Moon for bigger numbers. Yeah. Probably just Trick Moon. Call Trick Moon. And thanks to the sword, Bavsargra will get another plus 10. Skill of Bavsargra will Soul Blast 2 to pop his front row, and then get an additional crit. We're going to swing. Vylord's going to use its effect for plus 10k to the front row. Whoops. Alright, 41 2 crit. And even if he guards it, we are still going to put him to 5 because of the sword. It's actually good that he drops like fat shield for it. 2 to pass. Alright, first check. A critical trigger, it's even better. since he didn't PG, we're just gonna put all of the effects on Bavsargra. Well, my apologies, guys. The game just disconnected. That kind of sucks. Well, that is unfortunate. I don't even know if we're gonna win that game, to be honest. Let's jump into the next game. I am gonna keep that game in the video just because I thought it was a good showcase of Bavsargra, excuse me, in like the meta right now. But I don't know. That was weird. I'm not sure if he like disconnected from the game or what. This will be our second game with Bavsargra, and again, I do apologize for how that last game ended. I don't know if it was me or him. I'm gonna put back 3. I just realized we didn't see a Dish Diva all that last game. I'm not sure if this is actually like just Eva or like another Brancade deck. If it's Eva, that'd be cool. I haven't faced an Eva in a long time. And that actually is really good for Bavsargra. Well, no, it's not. Because I'm sorry, they can't be retired. All right. I guess it's up to fate to see if he'll actually play. It is Orphist. Okay. Okay. Gonna add the Hollow Moonlit Knight, honestly the one I think you should add every single time, just because you don't want your opponent to damage deny you, and damage denial is a real problem for Orphist. Alright, discard the heal because our hand's not that great right now. We're gonna use the skill of Namor Car first, Soul Blast 1. Grab ourselves the shield and use the effect of starter to draw a card. Swing for 8 on Vanguard. Checking the Bavsargra. He's gonna check a draw, which is kind of annoying because like I know Orphis Masks can get like a huge hand. He's gonna discard a crit. Gonna activate the, oh, he's gonna call, smart man, he's doing the play. It's smarter to call your Dragon Tree Wretches in the back row if you're scared about your opponent damage denying you. Or just guarantee yourself the Mask of Hydrogram. Oh wait, oh, he looks like he's taking it back. Okay. Okay. You're good, bro. Sorry, bro. You can't do that. Yeah. For those of you who are trying to do that, it needs an Orphis Vanguard to activate the effect. Oh, he's gonna call to the front row. Okay, good. He's calling to the back. So he's gonna get a Dragon Tree marker, search for the mask for next turn, or just for discard fodder if he already has the Orphis masks. So activate the Hollow Moonlit Knight in order to. You know what's funny though? We could just like straight up pass next turn, because even with 1 CB, Orphis can do a lot. Even if it's not going first with the mask. We're in no guard. Oh, well, we know he has the mask now. Discard the shield to ride. Using skill to grab the shield back. We could just pass. If you're ever nervous about the state of your hand and you know that the deck needs... Can't remember. Did we see Bubble Mine? No, I don't think we did see Bubble Mine. Someone's gonna scroll through this footage and be like, oh, why did he pass turn? He's gonna call and use the effect because he actually doesn't care if your Vanguard's Bavsargra. You can use that on turn 2. We're going to send the... We're gonna add this to our hand. We're actually not gonna send it. We're gonna add it to our hand and shuffle the deck. And we're gonna pass turn. Discard a crit. Now we know he has 2 gone. Got the Dragon Tree Wretch. Guard that. Swim with Orphis Masks. We are going to. We don't have a Trick Moon. We don't have a Trick Moon, so we're gonna have to take it in order to get our. Check a heal. Have PG. Stand and draw. A PG is very nice for us. We're going to discard. Yeah, discard the sword to ride into Bavs. Soul charge. Calling out. The Namor car. I don't think we will use Bavsargra's effect just because we know he has a PG. And we really don't want to play into that. We're gonna CB1 to arm. We do have a Persona Ride, and we do have an arm for next turn, so actually we could do it. No, actually. We're gonna make him waste it. And at least be -1 on his rear guards. If it's Shadow Armies, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna get +10 off of the effect. Swing for 23-2 crit. No guard. Alright, it's even better. Second check. Well, at least we know it's gone. That's going to be it for our turn. But he is going to have a massive hand for the rest of this game because he gets triple drive too. I think he forgot to use Orphis Masks or Orphis skill, unless he just didn't have a world card in his hand, which is super unlucky. We use the skill of the mask to Persona Ride into Orphis Masks. I guess he doesn't. If he doesn't have an extra world, then he can't get the triple drive. So I guess it makes more sense to like get thin your deck more of the masks and just like spread more Dragon Tree markers. Okay, good. He remembered. Bingo. Interesting. I guess he only did get one CB to play with, and he doesn't have any worlds. I'm not sure how many worlds he's playing for his deck. Well, at least you don't have to worry about a triple driving Vanguard. We're gonna no guard, because even if he's checked 3 crits in order to kill it, or 2 crits. He doesn't have triple drive. Front trigger, very epic. Oh, that's rude. Yeah, let it slide. Then we'll guard. Still one of the best parts about Bavsargra is that you do get that 10k shield every turn, which can save you. We're gonna Persona Ride. Still no Trick Moons. It's crazy. We haven't even seen any in like damage at all. And we only have 1 CB to work with. So here's the play. We're gonna call. We're gonna use the skill to Soul Blast the Bobs to check top 7. There we are. So we have the Trick Moon. We're gonna shuffle. Now here's the thing. Do we add it to our hand or do we... We're actually gonna send it to drop. And the reason why is because we are going to rearm for CB1, skill to draw 1, which into a PG, skill of Bobs, soul charge 1, which is a Bobs, and then call the Trick Moon, and skill of the Trick Moon is called the center back row, we counter charge. Then we are gonna overdress into Vylord. Vylord's effect, counterblast 1, choosing 2 arms. We're gonna rearm Spear to our soul. Skill of Spear, since it was armed, we draw. Alright, we're kind of popping off here, boys. We're gonna call Kongshadi, no skill, and then call Trick Moon. Skill of Bobs. Oh, I missed. Soul Blast 2. Retire the front row. Now I know that it's going to call a Shadow Army token. That's fine. I don't really care. We want the additional crit. Because what's funny is that if he doesn't take it, then we're just going to like... He's going to take it. He's going to take Bob's attack. Because we're just going to pass in that case. And he'll deck out before we do. Alright. To battle. Swing. Skill. Plus 10 to the front row. No guard. Alright, first check. Let's go over. We're going to put the 100 million power here because he has a PG. We're going to draw, and then we're going to restand the Vanguard. Second check. A front trigger. Power goes to the front row. It's been a while since I checked OT. We're going to swing again. 53. 2 crit. We actually have a Vylord for next turn that we can overdress into. Yep, he's going to use the PG that we've known he's had since his first grade 3 turn. Discarding the Cyber Kaitsul. First check, critical trigger. We get the plus 10k crit to this guy. Another crit trigger. We'll give all effects, this time Dishya. Dishya will also get plus 10k due to his skill. Swing, skill, plus 25. Or, not 25. Okay, and then that was 95, which is crazy. 100 million to crit. I expected the PG, but still, we kind of like mega sacked there, boys, but it feels pretty good. But now he has 5 CB. He can finally do like Orphis stuff. Kind of Persona Ride into the masks. Call. That's a card he's been needing for a long time. Polar Axis is really good. Now he finally has access to that second world, so he can get triple drive. He does have access to 2 Dragon Tree markers. That gives him a lot of power, especially with the Overcoming the Eternity. He's going to call the Orphis Mask, which is an interesting choice. He must have like a lot of shield in his hand, if he's only willing to call that. It's going to swing for 25 on our Vanguard. I'm going to no guard this one. Oh, no, we're going to guard it for 28. Why do we have fronts? Oh, it went back to like an older build. I just realized. I was like, why do we have fronts? Oh well, they're helping us out. Because like I definitely showed it like crits. I think crits are still probably in the long run better. But it accidentally went back to an older list when it crashed. Okay. I just realized, like, it got the gears turning. Sending 2, and he gets to retire both his front row to call 2 Shadow Army tokens. And then Overcoming is going to activate, allowing them both to get 5k. And then Polar Axis is allowing them to draw. Yeah, okay. We will PG that. Give me a second, bro. We're going to PG... discarding the crit. A critical trigger. You know what? We actually will take this one. Heal trigger, powered our Vanguard. Heal trigger, powered our Vanguard, but we don't actually heal. On both occasions. Swing on our... Aw, you wouldn't. What a monster. It's not worth protecting him. I'm sorry, Kungshud. Well... You know what? Oh, no, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I'm sorry, little one. Alright, we're going to stand and draw. The axe. This is actually pretty good because I think he has a PG in his hand. We're going to check our drop first. Do we have any like viable grade 1s? We have the starter. Interesting. Okay, we're going to arm. Skill of Bavsargra. We're going to soul charge 1. Choosing a grade 1 or less. And call our starter. Let's go. Just going to overdress to our Vylord. Use effective Vylord. Choosing 2 arms. Arming the spear. And putting this into soul. Skill of spear to draw, which is a... Oh, that's much better. That is much better. We don't even need to call him for his skill. We can just call him for the additional, like, 10k power. Which I think we will do. We will call him for that. Tire him. Call. I'm just gonna activate both their effects right now, so they will get plus 10 when they attack. Alright. And then Bavsargra will get plus 10. New skill of Bavsargra. Soul Blast 2. Target the front row. She gets a crit. Battle. Skill to give plus 10k to the front row, and now skill of the axe, he must guard with 2 or more for Bob's attacks. Okay, so we get the plus 15k shield because we have additional crit. Oh wow, he has 2, so he gets the basically the over trigger. No pass. All right, first check, no trigger. Second check, no trigger. Vylord's gonna boost. We're gonna use the skill to give 10k to our front, which makes it 48. It's gonna guard for 53 using 3 triggers. Very nice. And then this is gonna be another 48. It's gonna guard a lot of cards out of his hand to guard these attacks, but I'm still confident, or at least semi-confident, we have 3 PGs. So if worst comes to worst, like, we have 2 interceptors. Oh wait, sorry. And then we have the effect of this. Put it into drop to rearm the shield. That actually doesn't matter. You can use that effect to mill a world card. And he did the right thing by saving Orifice Mask's effect to remove the OG Orifice to activate an effect. In this case, it is put a world card from his drop into the order zone, which will be the Hollow, or is it Eclipse Moonlight, to get a Shadow Army token. And then with the Overcomings effect, that Shadow Army will get plus 5, and then another plus 5 from the Dragon Tree marker. He's going all out. And that 5k shield doesn't really matter because, I mean, I guess it does matter. He's forcing us to use our shield. He's swinging without boosting. He's gonna swing into our interceptor, which I was gonna intercept anyways, so that works out. He's gonna swing with his Shadow Army boosted. I'm going to, so okay. Guard with these 2. PG discard this, PG discard this, PG. Okay, it should be fine. The problem is we can't rearm and get the crit, but we don't really need to. So I think as long as we keep Dishtiva alive, we're gonna guard and get the plus 5k shield. We could have kept the, if we just used the effect of the shield, but these numbers are gonna be huge, but it doesn't matter because we have 3 PGs. We're gonna PG that, discarding a crit. Triple drive gives him 1 as a crit. Orifice Masks. Okay, so if we don't kill him next turn, we are going to lose 100%. PG discarding the PG. This has been a really good game so far. My man is flabbergasted. Why? Okay. My man had a bit of a meltdown of the fact that I used PGs. I don't know. I saved the PGs just in case. Let's see what my draw would have been. Not great. I'm assuming I was just gonna like. We're just gonna say fucking call the draw trigger, and then in this case we were gonna switch him around so that it was he would get plus 2k because of his effect, so making it actually 14 instead of 12. And Dish Diva would have gotten his plus 10k power, and then we would have done the. We have no soul. We would have done the big boy play, and that is swing. Use the effect to get plus 10k. First check. Second check is a crit. We would have just given all the effects to Dish Diva and said, you know, screw it. And then swing with Dish Diva, use the effect for plus 10k power. That's 58-2 crit. Alright, so I'm pretty sure we would have won that game. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry for the weird end of these like 2 games, but I had a lot of fun with Bavsargra. I think it's a super like creative, super fun deck, especially when they add an overdress unit to it. And I didn't even do any of the like crazy stuff I've seen people do where you can put like Valiente for like a 4th attack on hit, or put like Expecta in the deck to have like a really big rear guard attack. But I'm going to leave it here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.